What's up, guys? CryptoSavy here. Welcome to the channel where you subscribe for daily updates on Bitcoin. We're going to be taking a look at the charts. It does look like Bitcoin is getting ready to make a decision here. We're going to take a look at it, see what that might be. Definitely stick around. Don't forget to check out the free Discord. There's a link below in the description. Check it out, guys. It's an awesome community, totally free, and let's get into it. All right, guys, as always, this is not financial advice or trading advice. Always do your own due diligence before investing or trading in any market. We're going to take a look at the news headlines. It is Saturday, so there's not many new headlines. We'll just check out the newest of them. China is no threat to Bitcoin, promises Foundry CEO after 100 million Bitcoin mining bet. What else? These are all old. No doubt Bitcoin will soon rule an internet-powered economy. Definitely possible. Arthur Hayes reveals DeFi crypto portfolio, predicts Bitcoin bull market will ignite in second half of 2020. Why a state attack on Bitcoin is neither likely nor likely to succeed. All right, well, it's pretty bullish news. I guess that would be the sentiment of those headlines. We are at 79 in the Fear and Greed Index. We've rose 5 points from yesterday back into the extreme greed. Thing I want to point out, we'll take a look starting out at the macro, moving on down to the micro. And as of right now, in the macro, we have made nothing but lower highs. This monthly candle is going to be key. If we have a close below 11,200 area, I think it's going to get pretty ugly for Bitcoin, guys. This could be a doji here. So let's wait until the monthly closes and we'll see, in the macro vision, but we will take a look at smaller time frames. But I do want to point out the lower highs in the RSI, higher highs in the price action. That is bearish divergence in the macro. All depending on how this pans out. We'll watch this monthly close closely. Let's take a look at the weekly. So on the weekly, as you guys know, RSI is key on the weekly. There is showing room for another little push up, so be aware of that. But these are the bullish case scenarios, guys, the measured moves. If you want to check them out, I've done them in all of the previous videos. I'm going to try to make this video a little shorter. But those are the bullish case scenarios there. But one thing I do want to point out also, keep an eye on this yellow dotted line here. We have gotten support on it. And right now it lies right around 11,200 right in that area. So that's going to be a key area to watch. But I do want to show you guys in the RSI here, it does show a possibility for another touch up. As you can see, we have made, we had rejection up here and then support, rejection again at the top, support at the bottom. We have not quite touched this top yet. That could be an area. That is the bullish case to me, that we come up and retest this on the weekly, and it could happen next week. So we just need to keep an eye on this. Could it be topped out here? Yes, it's possible, but always be aware there is enough room for another leg up here. A weekly close above this trend line, then it gets a lot more bullish for me. A weekly close above this trend line would be pretty damn bullish in my opinion. That would change my perspective because you guys know I am still bearish. This is Prime XBT. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. It's by far my favorite exchange. And people, I am going to do another tutorial on that. Some people have asked me because they are used to the exchanges that have, buttons for 5x, 25x, and blah, blah, blah. This is all done on margin, the way a professional market should be, I believe. And basically, if Bitcoin was 10,000 and you had 1,000 in your account, if you traded one Bitcoin, 10 times 1,000 would be that one Bitcoin. So that would be 10 times leverage. If you traded a half a Bitcoin, that would be 5 times leverage. If you did your 1,000 in a trade, then that is just, 1 times. That would be like basically like spot trading. So Anyways, like I said, I'm going to do a video on that, but I do think this is the best platform, in my opinion, for crypto. You can also trade Forex, gold, silver, oil, S&P, Dow. You can dabble into all that with just your Bitcoin. I will leave a tutorial up top, and definitely use the promo code Savy50. That'll get you 50% on top of whatever you deposit up to 1 Bitcoin. Savy25 gets you 25% off of your trading fees. That's a killer deal. So as of right now, you can see I am still down in my trade from yesterday. We are getting a little pump up. We'll take a look at the key areas. I do have my stops at 11,650 right now. I may end up having to take a loss on this trade, but that is how it goes. Even if I take a loss, I'll still be up over my Bitcoin. So not a killer. That happens. So anyways, let's look at the daily. So on the daily here, as you guys know, we've been watching this as a possible rising broadening wedge, and I will show you the measured move of that. And guys, I'm not guaranteeing you that it's going to go down here, but you should definitely be aware that it is possible to get down to this $3,800 range. Also, there is a CME gap down here right around 3,570. Not saying it has to close, but people need to be aware of that. People want to look at, they're okay to look at the 9,700 gap because it's right here, but they don't want to talk about the others. There's also one at 7,600 and also one at 3,570. And again, not saying it has to go there, but you need to keep that in mind. Let's look at where we're at here. If we do drop below this, that's around the $10,800 range, and I've been talking about that for quite a while. I still believe we're going to hit down to that range, and if that breaks, you can look at this trend line here, which would line up with the 200 EMA around the 96 to 9,700, which would close that gap. I would expect at least a bounce there, maybe even come up and retest this trend line before coming down if that happens. We also have this next trend line down here would be around the, depending on where and how long it hit, but if it went down in the next couple weeks or next week or two, it would be around the $7,900 range, and if that breaks, we could be looking at these lowers. But look at the RSI. We had been watching this rising wedge. We did break down below it. We still have room to pop up a little more, and this is the daily to come up and retest the bottom of this before continuing down. Now, a close back inside this would change my perspective to a little more bullish, but as of now, I am not. As you guys know, I have quit my job in trading, and I think that was the best decision I ever made in my life. I'm out of the hustle bustle, high stress world now, and I'm my own boss, and it has been extremely wonderful. And I just want you guys to know anybody can do it if you actually put your mind to it and, you know, get the negativity out of your life, and it makes a huge difference, guys. So just let's take a look at the rising broadening wedge here that we broke down from March in the pink. If we did come back up and retest that, that could be, you know, up in the 13,000, and it goes up further the further we go, but I don't see it breaking this pink trend line. If it does, I will be pretty damn bullish there also. So let's look at the white dotted trend lines, looking at this as a rising broadening wedge. Let me go back to something first. I do want to point out in this daily chart that we are getting rejected at the EMAs right here. They do look like they're ready to cross down. Unless we get a massive push up and turn these around, it looks like we're coming down to at least the 55 EMA around the 10,950 range. So keep that number in your head. Let's go back over to this chart. As you can see, we had 1, 2, 3 touches on the resistance line up here on this white dotted line, and then if we look at the support line down at the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. And if we were to break down past that 9,600, we talked about that. And again, guys, we'll go into the smaller time frames and look at the more immediate price action, but this is obviously much longer term. But if that was to happen, 6,500 area is the target there. And again, we look at the RSI. We have broken down out of this wedge. We have some room to come up and retest it possibly before continuing down. And it's not saying it's going to go one straight line, guys. So anyways, let's look at the Fibonacci retracements from the swing low down here to the swing high. The first retracement area, which lines up with what people believe to be a inverse head and shoulders here. Now, if that does hold, the 10.4 to 10.5 and get a nice bounce there. That could be it. I do think we're going to go down further, though, in my opinion, but definitely keep an eye on that area for a bounce. But yeah, the first Fibonacci retracement of 0.236 would be around 10,400 if that was the break. Next area being at the 0.382, and that would be right around 91.80, and if that was to break, 81.53 is the 0.5. Then we have the golden pocket zone in between 68.50 and 71.20, and then of course our $6,500 range. And if we went down even further to the 0.786, would be about 56.80. If that broke, we could go down and close that gap. Again, guys, I am not saying we have to go down there, but I'm first area to watch is going to be this 11.2, and then the 11.4 to 11.5 zone, and then after that, I would be looking for the 9,600 range to come retest this here. Now, that's looking at it in that perspective. I want to let's put a trend line up here real quick too. And that would get us right around the 10.8 if we were to come down and test this trend line off of these wicks here. So that 10.8 is a pretty important area for me. That's where I have my take profits. Although the way this is looking, I may start taking profits a little early, and I'll show you where here in a minute. One more way to help support this channel, guys, my wife's webpage, inkyourimage.com. There is a link below. She has a lot of cool crypto stuff. She can put any crypto you want, any saying, anything if you have gift ideas for anybody. But definitely check it out. It's quality stuff, guys. It's not iron-on bull crap. It's actually quality goods. So anyways, the 4-hour chart. Let's take a look at that. First off, I want to show you as you can see, these tops in the RSI that I have the white line across were even across, and if we look at it in price action, we made higher highs. That is bearish divergence. I do believe we could come back down to at least this 10.3, which is the 200 EMA on the 4-hour. I may be looking to take a little bit of profit there if we make it down there, but I still am looking for this 10.8. Again, nothing says we have to get there, but let's look at these other targets real quick. And I'm actually going to move this one up to around that 12.8. Let's get this off of there. And that's just coming back up to retest this trend line. If this is indeed a rising wedge in white, you see here, it could get up to around that 12.8 if we do have that push up. And that would most likely get that weekly RSI up to test that trend line that we were talking about in the beginning of the video. Now let's zoom in a little bit and get a better look at what's going on. We'll move our targets now. As you can see, yesterday, I had this 11,500 right on this orange trend line here, which was made off of these 3 touches, which we broke down from here, and we do have a measured move. But I also have the dotted trend line here, looking at this as a smaller rising wedge, using the white line as the resistance and the dotted orange line as support. Now let's take a look at the measured moves off these. But first, I'm going to come in here and change these. That trend line would have been at 11.6, and now this is a 4-hour. So let's look at 11.7, maybe the highest we would go, and a break above that and getting support back on top. The orange trend line would be bullish. But as of right now, yesterday we had it at 11. Let's move this up. And about 11,550 would also line up with the 55 EMA if we were able to get back up to that area. But again, 11,300 area would be the 200 EMA. That's where I would be looking to go test first. If that breaks them down to our $10,700, $10,800 area. I actually can move this up a little bit. So yeah, around 10.8. Still been looking at that for quite a while. Let's take some measured moves here. First measured move, we will look at that orange dotted trend line as the support, white trend line as the resistance. We take a measured move of that where we already broke down here, and that gets us around the 9,900. Let's take a look at the solid orange trend line, looking at that as a rising broadening wedge, which I don't really consider very valid anymore. I mean, the trend line is still valid for support and resistance, but we're going to take a measured move of that anyway. And where is it? Oh, it's somehow I lost it. Oh, there it is. So if we took that measured move, that would get us down to around $10,200 range. And that's looking at This white top trend line is resistance. Support is the orange solid trend line with a breakdown here. Like I said, we have tagged it. I think it's more safe to say that this was a rising wedge. So as of right now, that's what I'm looking at. We also had, where are they at? We were looking at this as a flagpole, and let me zoom in here as a bear flag, and our measured move of that also gets us to that 10.8 area. So keep your eye on that, guys. I believe we could be headed down there, but look for some support around 11,300. That's probably going to be pretty good support. We might get stuck there for a while. If that holds, then I would be looking for, around that 11.7 or so. But as of right now, I'm still looking for that 10.8. Been talking about it for probably a good week. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Let's look at the RSI. So in the RSI, as you can see, we still look to be in this falling channel. A very bullish move would be coming up and breaking out of this channel. We would be coming back up to test this trend line up here. And in the price action, the top of that channel down here would probably be right at that 11.7. And then a break above the 11.7 would most likely get us support up here. And then we could be going to these higher levels. That's where I'm at right there. Let's look at the 1 hour. And as you can see in the 1 hour, I showed this in the Discord earlier. Join the Discord, guys, if you haven't already. I also do some Bitcoin giveaways in there a couple times a week, so pretty fun. All you got to do is basically, most of the contests been like I'll just say, name what it'll be by close. The closest wins. If you hit it on, you win a little more. But anyways, check it out if you haven't. It's a fun time. There's a great group of people in there. But as of right now, what are we at here? We got about 15 minutes on this candle. If we close below this trend line, we're most likely going to continue down from here. As you can see, it is a rising wedge forming. But if we do close up above that, we could get one more test at the top before coming down and breaking down. So keep your eyes on that. It looks like we're most likely going to close down here, guys, and go have a little dip down today. But let's look at the price action. Same thing we had over here at that 11.550 yesterday, where the 200 EMA was. We did end up popping above it here, getting around the 10.5 or 11.580. We're gonna put this back over here around the 10 or 11,540, which is gonna be around the 200 EMA. If we zoom in here a little bit, we are getting rejected at the 8, the 13, and the 21 EMA here, but as of right now, we are above the 55 EMA, and that's around 11,460. An hourly close, open and close below that 11,460 will be bearish, and I think we'll come down and maybe test these next levels. We had this here. We've come down to this area a few times. If we move this up, gets us around that 11.2. So that's going to be an area to watch here. And again, this is on the hourly chart. And if we look at that dotted line as the support and the resistance at the solid line up here, looking at that as a rising channel, a break below that 11.2, what's that show us here? All the way down to 96. And imagine that there is the CME gap down there, guys. So watch that 11.2. And then I'd be watching for a bounce at 10.8, like I said. And getting down to the 10.8 could actually get bullish, because if you look here at the yellow resistance and the dotted line for support, if we were to come down to 10.8 and get a bounce, this could be a rising broadening wedge. And the measured move of that would get us up to around that 12.8 actually, because we would have to move this down. And it should come out to about 12.8. Let's take a look at it. That'd be measuring the widest point of where it broke out. And it all depends on where it breaks out there, guys. But yeah, that would get us up around the 12.8, 12.7, 12.8 range. So I'm going to put this at 8. And that would be retesting the top of this white channel here. Again, if we use the solid white lines, looking at that as a rising wedge that we broke out of already, that would get us the measured move of that 99.50 range. So guys, like I said, on the weekly RSI, it does kind of concern me that we could get a push up. I'd be looking for around that 11.7, 11.8 area and a rejection there. If we don't get rejected there, we could literally be going up to the 12.8 range. But as for now, my opinion, and you can't trade on my opinion, but my opinion is that we're going to continue down from here, at least to around that 10.8. There's something about the 10.8. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to smash the likes, leave your comments down below. And if you want to enter to win the Kobo Vault Generation 2 hard wallet giveaway, that will be tomorrow. I'll be picking a random comment from a random video throughout the week. So make sure you leave a comment, smash the like, and subscribe to the channel by clicking the CryptoSavy logo above my head. Have a good day. I'm out.